A lot of these are already heading into TI. I like the two teams playing right now. LGD and Mineski both already having that slot to TI8, and this is the chance to prove that they are on top of their game, which, well, we're already in game 2 of this series, and Mineski did not look on top of their game. They have a chance to prove that they are here in the second game. And to talk about it, we have Sunsfan, Black, and Kyle. And I think, Kyle, during the game, was it you that said that the opening of the draft was not great?
Yes.
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 All right. So
it was
that
definitely
was
Kyle. It was him.
Because it was a drafting issue. We've talked about this before, that the draft, we have seen the drafter being Ninja Boogie. And before that it was 71, and with 71 they had success, and they want to shift that drafting position. That's fine, you know, get fresh ideas, but I mean, they also kind of want to win. This is a big difference.
You're glossing over the lack of success they had at the previous couple events with that 71 still drafting. I still think it's a good mix-up. You just, you know, everybody gets one, all right?
Okay.
I've made some mistakes in my time.
Sure,
you know,
everybody knows that.
For
Got
EG, sometimes Bulba drafts. I mean,
got me put again.
Yeah.
That's true.
It doesn't work out. So.
You're saying Bulba's not a great drafter, Suns fan?
He has some issues, yeah.
Could you elaborate?
He wants to live vicariously through the players on his team because he's not actually playing, so he might feel a little bit extra motivation to not pick the correct heroes.
So
this is
no
complete
sense
lie, by
whatsoever.
the way.
All right, Black, talk to me.
Don't ask me to
You've been
explain
a
ever
teammate of 4 of these players playing today. How is Mineski gonna step it up? What do they need to do?
Well, I would say our biggest weakness in Faces was the mental aspect.
Okay.
Like being able to recover after a loss like that.
Oh, and that's important here.
And that is very important here. So, but I think they worked on that quite a bit in the past. They've had a couple of rough losses and then came back stronger. So I'm sure they figured something out along the way.
I mean, they've faced LGD twice in finals and beat them both. So they've got experience against this team. But something in this team clicked as well, though, because they were having a rough time. And then, I don't know if after Chinese New Year, if that made a difference there, all of a sudden, LGD back on the menu.
Refueling the tank.
Refueling the tank.
I think they understand themselves and the game very well. I think arguably better than any other team. Like, I've been praising VP. I saw them play some beautiful Dota, but I think strategically, LGD is just on that next tier. And everyone else is trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Like, even just Bloodseeker, right? That's a hero we just saw at this event. I feel like, you know, they just played it off lane. I think they just seamlessly transitioned this new hero into a textbook LGD draft, and we were like, wow, that's the game-winning pick. Like, it's perfect.
You can see a lot of teams also copy them already. With the, I believe, Gyro, Elder Titan they did to counter an aggro dual lane. They were the first team to do it, and now a lot of teams are trying to do it too. Not to the same success, of course, because they don't understand it quite yet, but teams are getting there.
Guys, Mineski can still win.
They can.
They can.
They can still win.
Yeah.
They're a good, clean team.
Me and Black and you could still make a team, go through opens,
all right.
win the regional qualifiers.
I appreciate you including me, Kyle.
And win TI.
I appreciate it, but
what role are you? What role?
Centaur.
Centaur.
Not even often, just Centaur. It doesn't. Wherever you want to put me.
We can make that work.
Yeah.
You had to pick me a setup though, like Shadow Demon.
Yeah. What about Tiny?
No.
Toss you in and.
Tiny's garbage. What do you put me on a feeding hero now?
No. You are Centaur, but we have a Tiny.
Oh,
tosses
so
you
tossing.
You don't even need to farm a Blink Dagger anymore. You're good.
That's true. I wouldn't be able to farm a Blink Dagger.
We don't even need to talk about Black's hero, because he actually has Anti-Mage tattooed on his body.
That's right. He goes Orb of Venom first item, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Whenever we're on the court and I undress, everybody sees the Anti-Mage tattoo.
So you think that Mineski can do it this game? What do they need to focus on? Any particular player?
I want Ice
hero
Ice
you want
Ice
to
to
see?
pick Pango. Just
But
somehow.
I mean,
it first phase
banned.
I
ban.
understand that, but LGD is going to feel really cocky now, right? They're like,
No, they're not.
we're really good.
No, they're not.
We're going to let Pango through now just to see. We just want to play against it just as practice for TI.
I can see that happening.
You know?
The last time they played against Mineski in China, they lost 3-2 in the grand finals. There's no way they're planning on losing another major in front of the home crowd.
That's true. The home crowd.
There is a grudge.
Yeah.
That is definitely true.
Winning is practice for TI.
I'm being
There's going to be
hopeful
3
here, right?
patches before that event actually even starts. It's like 2 months away. Just 2?
2, but well, we don't know how many mini patches in between, but I think like 2 actual patches.
Centaur is going to be buffed in both patches.
And Dragon Knight as well.
You've heard it here first. Dragon Knight as well.
Take him up
and they will be the 2 heroes at TI.
Just,
hey, you guys are going to, 2 months from now, I'm going to look like an oracle. or just a complete idiot, which is nothing new.
It's win-win,
Exclamation
really.
mark, remind me.
Yes. There you go.
Tag him in Reddit, guys.
Okay.
Tag
Sure.
him.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know what that means exactly. Write his name in Reddit, guys.
All right, so you want to see Ice Ice on some Pango. I'm
mean-
going to translate that into you want to see Ice Ice on a more playmaker hero where he gets
Yeah.
more freedom than what he did now, because he was just hard countered. He couldn't do much on his Timber.
Yeah, I mean, you
This game.
picked it into a Bloodseeker essentially, and
Yeah.
I mean that's a pretty tough matchup overall. So
I mean, I feel like if you're going to take it, if I'm not mistaken, they last picked it, or they
They first
They
took his Tinker.
forfeited him.
but as first pick. No, in that game they did. But when they did it, it was stream B. That was why. So we were on.
Okay.
I was on second stream casting all the Mineski games. And when they were taking Timber, they picked it last in one game, and then in the next they took it fourth, but as first pick. So it's just that one hero left to counter it. When you give away two, and a team like LGD, which they're on top of things, like SF Bloodseeker, two of the hardest Timber counters out there. You're forced to throw it off lane, and all of a sudden you're in a again. That was probably the outdraft of the tournament, with the exception of that Vici Gaming abomination, the Lich Tree Dragon
You know,
Knight. But that's like
We're not
that's
talking
playing
about that.
yourself.
I feel like I
That's-
could talk about that draft for the next hour.
But let's
literally.
please don't.
It's so enjoyable. Something about talking about really bad drafts just makes me really happy. I don't know what it is. Because I feel like we're taking part in an activity that will help them get buffed in the future.
Well, I
perhaps,
am really
you know?
hoping
You
that
feel
we're
a part
going
of
to
that
make you
process.
sad right now, because maybe Mineski can put up a good draft
Pango.
this time.
Not
It is
banned
time
yet.
for game 2. Pango, not banned yet.
Come on, baby.
You're in
Come
it.
on, baby. Come on, baby. You
The
can do
fingers
it.
crossed.
Please.
Mineski will have first pick this game, and will be on the dire side.
Can't handle that vector targeting.
They,
Come on.
Drow Ranger first
yeah,
ban, though.
I was going to bring that up. I think that's because they're going to let the Mirana through and just not value it as high as they did, and the Drow definitely activates that off-lane Mirana.
A lot. Yeah.
Why not just ban out? Oh, there's Pango ban. Why not that ban out Marana?
Because they might want to play it and or consider playing it. Like, it's just, you want to keep it in the pool because you want to consider playing it, but you want to remove it from the perfect draft of LGD, because that Drow Mirana lineup was really nice. And
Why wouldn't they want to play Marana Drow then?
it's just not something they're comfortable with, I would imagine. It's just, you want, I would say your opening 3 bans should be heroes you don't want to play and you don't want the enemy to play. That's like your ideal hero, right? So
Alright.
if you hate Naga and you're playing newbie, you ban it every game. So keep heroes that you understand and enjoy in the pool, even if the enemy likes them. You just get rid of the building blocks that they'd utilize and you wouldn't.
To be fair, though, Mineski actually loves their Naga. But of course, PSG will just first pick it.
Oh,
This-
my.
Hey, this was
this-
first phase banned in the previous game.
Yep. Very
Comfortable
strong hero.
opening.
I'm surprised it's not picked more often, to be honest.
Yep,
It's very
I agree.
flexible.
It has been played on jabs so far for Mineski.
He was crushing with this hero. I was singing his praises. This was a big reason that they were able to actually knock down
Storm.
Secret. No, Storm. Yeah, it was Storm.
Storm,
They lost
yeah.
to Secret, but they this hero I think won them games. Jabs played incredibly well, dominated the laning phase, and ended up hitting like these massive shackles. And look for them to build on this with other heroes that have like these cheap immediate damage, much like that starter lifesteal that we saw before. You know, they picked it with Lina and Troll. He'd land a shackle, and that hero would just die before it could move.
Well, looks like we got the X-Nova Bane back again.
Yeah, super
Yep.
good against Wind Ranger because you just enfeeble him, sleep the target he's attacking. Like you have save and a great
How
disable.
fast do you level Enfeeble these days? Because it was just nerfed, what was it, 8-second duration only at level 1 versus, I think, 14 previously.
I think you have a max by 10. 4-4-1.
Depends on
Sometimes
the
two in
game.
sleep. Yeah.
It depends on the game, I'd say. In this, like, sleep is super good too, and you really like having points in that, but you don't need more than, I'd say, like 2 or 3. So I'd say max by like 12, 13 on the Enfeeble.
Yeah.
All your skills are incredible against Wind Ranger, though. It's just a 1-to-1 counter, and I'm surprised they banned Clock over Bane, but the issue with playing LGD is they can utilize so many heroes so well.
A Vice Clock is really scary, too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they pick up the Gyro with the Bane. Don't want to leave the Bane in the pool if you pick Gyro. It's one of the best counters to the hero.
And it's also a hero Mineski loves to pick. They even do it into Bane sometimes, but I like Gyro against Wind Ranger too, because you just do so much magic damage, and the hero is incredibly squishy.
And the Rocket, too. You focus fire guy, you don't really want to switch to the Rocket.
Yep.
Dire team back.
That's
Thank you.
As the most likely dual support combo of Mineski, they ran this twice in the games I watched with them in group stage.
Ninja Boogie played the Sand then?
Yep.
Or?
He plays Sand King. And
Really?
Yeah.
I think that they play that better. Boogie likes to play these roaming 5 heroes. It's the same as myself, in truth, and also Adam in Complexity. Like, it feels a lot better when you're the hero moving around the map and you're responsible for placing the wards. Plus, you get to get involved in the game. You don't really...
Does any person like playing position 5 without, like... You're talking about you're a position 5 player that likes to play 4-ish.
yeah.
Does anybody just like 5? Like, enjoy it?
I
Fly.
do. I do.
Wow.
And
Fly.
I think PPD does as
Fly.
well.
PPD?
Well, PPD is a masochist, right? He like
But
he
so is
enjoes
Fly,
the
though.
pain.
Yeah,
of
so
the
is Fly. He goes to the gym a lot. Pain is
Yeah.
involved. Yeah.
Well,
Pain is the
it's
game,
the
yeah.
same. It's there are tie wins in the scene. Okay, those that want to sort of oversee the battlefield from the reserves. You know,
And then die on the toilet. Yeah.
For the
Exactly.
unfamiliar, this is a Game of Thrones reference.
Man,
And there
Kyle's
are
analogies
others-
are legit.
there are others such as Jamie that want to lead their forces into battle and really feel the pulse of it,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
And
But
lose a
they're all
hand.
part of the same family that is Dota2 lovers.
That's
I
very
hope
good.
so.
Wow.
Very good. Very nice.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence after that joke. Yeah.
All right, focus on the draft. Luna ban, Elder Titan ban. I guess not too surprising on either side. And the FY Rubik ban.
I think you got to get rid of that one. It's the
Ban the
bit-
Luna. Can man fight the Gyro? One of the better heroes for it. Burst him down before BKB.
Burrow Strike would have been real nice for Rubik this game.
Yeah. Or even Shackle.
That's right.
I already like this opening so much more from Mineski.
Yeah, way better.
It's so good. And again, Wind Ranger banned in that last draft. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's just this Wisp factor, because when you're second pick, you have to ban Wisp. Because you can safely assume any team worth their salt is going to immediately snatch that up if it goes through.
And the Lord. More damage mitigation banned.
Another typical gyro counter. Oh,
Okay.
Should we still be curious about if the Lycan is going to show up? I found that hero so strong, and they played on so many different positions. But with the
how's,
gyro and the Bruin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
How's Lycan against Brew? Because Brew just sends up in the air.
hard counter. You
Drunken
also
Haze.
immediately kill those necro books
Yeah,
with
you
your
just
purge
dispel it.
until level 3. Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And it's so much gold, and you just, like, you remove Necrobook as a source of any damage whatsoever. I mean,
How much damage is it? 1,000?
I think it's, I want to say like 850. All I know is it kills the first Necrobook immediately.
Yeah, the 600 health one.
Yeah.
All right. Ice, ice,
Tide
ice,
Hunter.
tide.
Yep.
Actually, I don't like Tide too much against Brewmaster because you can keep spinning him up in the air.
Yeah, but I don't mind that because there's Bane and Gyro. Like, it's more damage reduction. That's why they're banning the Underlord, and it's great against Bane. You can't actually lock down a
Yeah.
Tide. I agree with you. He can stay slept. They can throw him up in the air, but like he's just going to swim, you know? And
Yeah,
as
he's
long
just
as
gonna
he
swim.
puts himself between his squad and the enemies.
You basically just want to run in, do whatever you want to me. I'm right here.
Yeah,
If you forget about me, I'm going to ravage you.
pretty much.
Brewmaster also counters Wind Ranger, right? You can dispel the Wind Run. Is that true? I believe so.
I think so. You used to be able
Well,
to.
Nullifier can purge it. You
Then-
can definitely purge it.
Yeah, if
then
it's
it can
purgeable,
dispel.
then yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
And in addition, you have the mischance as well. You can also catch him. And Sand King Wind Ranger doesn't have the greatest burst.
Yeah.
In theory, you know, they can stun, epi, etc. But realistically, especially with a Tide in the pool, like you're going to get your split off. And
Yeah.
you buy BKB this game for sure at some point, but still.
So you think they need a little bit more burst, like a Lena or something like that from Mineski?
Is DP in the pool?
DP is in
it
the
is
pool.
still in the pool.
All right, let's let the hero die, please. Come on, Kyle.
LGD plays DP like...
Oh, LGD.
No, it's a Mineski. It's a Mineski hero for sure this game. If LGD doesn't get something to deal with it.
LGD hasn't played it yet this tournament.
last
And
tournament,
Moon
the
has
first two
played
picked
a
it.
couple times.
They do need a silence. That's true.
It's a great Death Prophet game already.
Is it ever a
All right, I'll
great
actually forgive this.
It's always
this
a
DP
great
pick
Death
this
Prophet
time
game.
around. That's not true.
No.
It's a question for LGD, like what support do you want to pick up here?
Yeah, you want to last pick at the mid for sure.
I'm sure they would love Rubik, but it's banned.
Yeah.
You look at those 3 Mineski heroes, I'm glad
Naga's
that
banned.
that was taken out.
So
is
far, FY, all the heroes that he played this
Ooh.
tournament are banned.
It could, I would say it could FY Bane and Chen, but I don't think that's a combination worth picking. And I don't like Chen Brew that much at all. You want more of an active roaming support. There's
Whatever
just really none
happened
left.
to Tusk?
Dire team pick.
Why don't we see Tusk anymore?
Keeper of the light.
Coaching.
I like it.
Tide
Tide,
is going to hate
Yeah.
him so much.
Yeah.
those Tide and Wind Ranger sinking, they want to run around the map, force fights, continue pressuring, and get engagements. Coddle's so good at just splitting the map, and you activate heroes like Brew and Bane that don't really want to be showing in lane, so you just shove
10 seconds
and abuse their mobility now with the summon in, and you can force fights a lot easier, but more
5
importantly, you get
seconds
skirmishes, and it's a great combination with Gyro into the mid game, because you just buff him and he gets 2 Qs off right away. It's just super strong. And they have the last pick win condition hero, which theoretically could be anything, but I'm leaning towards Storm.
Could be anything. I thought about Storm or Ember Spirit, one of the mobility carries. Because right now Mineski has
Yeah.
catch, but not the best catch.
Yeah. No burst, really.
Yeah, no burst. They can maybe lock him down, maybe catch him with 1 or 2 stuns, but they don't really have the damage to kill him. They will have to invest a lot.
Yet they are still lacking 2 heroes.
Yeah. I think Tinker and Death Prophet look appealing.
Mineski Tinker,
Yeah.
they like it.
I mean, Moon, yeah. Great Tinker.
Would make the Storm even more threatening. Would probably ban that one out then.
Yeah, I think they're spending a lot of time because they want that mid hero. That's what's more likely to be banned out by LGD. There's there's certainly fewer options in the mid role this game, it feels. There's maybe 3 or 4 tops. And I really think it's just Tinker DP. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
And because you need something, you need burst. You need something that utilizes all these stuns.
There we go.
Stuns fans' favorite.
That's okay this game. You've convinced me this game. I think people have just been picking it up just to pick it up, it feels like, in a lot of these
Yeah, because
games.
people think it's strong, but they don't really work too well with it. Yeah, that's why it lost a
Well,
lot.
when they pick it with DK, yeah.
DK DP is so terrible.
Yeah, it really is.
And
You know
we've
what-
seen it like 3-4
10
times.
seconds
You know what makes it work, though?
What?
Lich Tree.
Yes.
Oh, come
Yes.
on.
Combine all the bad picks and you have a good roster. It's going to happen this tournament.
Please.
Dire team back.
They banned the
Top
Slark.
it off with a Huskar, too.
That's a good ban for sure. One of the things that's best against Coddle is an Invis hero. Shadowblade carrier, Slark the best at doing that naturally. And if you look at the LG lineup, they have absolutely nothing for a Slark. So I like the pick. Thus, it's gone.
Yep.
Any
Excuse
chance
me,
of
what are they gonna last ban?
any chance of a Bloodseeker this game?
Possible, but I don't like it at all against Brew Coddle. You need
10
something with no ult required, I
Well, I
think.
meant
Yeah.
for LGD.
No.
5
don't
I
like
don't
it.
think so.
Because you have the gyro carry, you don't necessarily
But
need
you have
somebody
to-
that scales in the late
You have
game,
to
right?
run into DP tight. You don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
You kind of want to play around them. You want to push them away. You want to harass them, make them low HP, and then initiate after.
I think the Ember Quap Storm type hero for maybe is what they're going to be looking for. And if you're Mineski, you need something that isn't cooldown dependent. You really don't want, like, imagine they went in Void or something and you have DP ult Ravage and a Chrono to worry about. Like, you need something that can play around these big teamfight abilities and something that can connect and just, like, scale. I'm not sure what they go for, though.
They liked their core Venge a long time ago, but it's probably pretty bad now.
Yeah.
Lifestealer is actually not too bad.
I could see a Lifestealer. I agree. They banned the SF. I think it's Lifestealer or Jug.
5
Those seem to be the
seconds
best.
remaining.
Because that BKB enabled part of the heroes just so good. Only the Bane to really shut that down, but they have so many stuns and silences. It's going to be a tough game for X-Nova.
LGD's turn to pick.
It's an
So
Ember.
they pick up the
Ooh.
Ember themselves.
Spirit.
So instead of
Okay.
safe lane DP then, Ember mid. Because Moon plays the Ember for sure.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think you can immediately storm here if you're LGD.
I've never seen.
You can, but
LGD
it's a bit
feels,
scary though.
feels LGD is always super happy with these drafts.
But
They're
you win the
always-
game on.
They're always happy.
smiling.
They
Yeah.
always smile.
Yeah.
They're a happy team.
The only concern I have with Storm is DP is really good against Storm early
10
on.
seconds
If you ever
remaining.
use and silence him, he's dead.
Yep.
Mid late game, of course, he has free reign.
5 seconds remaining.
I just like the Ember because it gives them reach too, and it enables the Wind Ranger and the Sanking. They actually did this once in the group stage. It looks really nice because you just change power shot. It's like 700 damage.
Yeah. From super far away. You don't even need to be in
Yep.
danger.
And if you look at the LGD lineup, like you need reach to catch the Coddle, but you don't really want to fight into them.
Yeah.
Specifically that Bruce split. So
Yeah. So, Quap or Storm, what we're
Yep.
expecting.
I would say I don't like Quap against Ember. I think it's Storm to give you the win condition. Alternatively, OD isn't bad, but I think you want something that utilizes the Coddle a bit better. Because right now,
for sure.
Oh,
God.
no.
I like this a lot less.
I hate maybe on Dragon. Like, give the man the ability to make plays.
You know, they just want to give Mineski a chance, you know.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, but Suns fan.
Oh,
Do I
no.
really need to
Nah.
ask? Because now you're.
Should I just pick against it on principle alone?
see,
Even
that's
if
the
I think
question,
LGD is
right?
going to win? Oh, God, this is tough. Why do you have to start with me every time?
Because of the Dragon Knight. No, I don't start with you
All
every
right,
time.
let's go with Mineski this game.
They don't have the Dragon Knight.
DK buffs incoming. Let's do it. Ice Frog, yeah.
I mean, it's a solid pick just because it gives them something like Blink and Stun as Coddle summoning
yeah.
Gyro. The Gyro can carry the game, but I don't know. It's all on the Ember Spirit.
All right.
I think it's 50-50. I'll lean Mineski because I think it's going to go game 3.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm insanely frustrated because they just gave this Ember like a free mid lane,
Yeah.
which you never want to do.
Yep.
There's so many counters to him, so I'm just going to say Mineski.
All right.
Just because you're so angry.
I'm so frustrated right now.
Dragon
I
Knight.
really hope we didn't just reverse jinx Mineski because they need this win if they want to stay in the upper bracket. They are going to try against LGD with ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you, Shiva. Yes, game 2 now between LGD and Mineski. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Fogged. And we've had a change up from both sides. The panel very much liking what Mineski's doing this time round, thinking that this could be a pretty good game for the Ember.
Much better draft this time around for sure. I don't know, the Dragon Knight did feel pretty good to me though. They needed a hard lockdown. They only really had the Bane to rely on to try to catch this Ember Spirit, so I think they actually needed this in their mid lane, right? They needed to have some type of catch. And it's like the DK Gyro core. Sure, we saw that lose earlier, but I mean, LGD, they're a bit of a different monster, but now top Chalice. 5 heroes from Mineski.
And they've got themselves first blood. And that Ember that we're talking about potentially having a lovely game, he's just been given first blood. Moon able to take it there.
He'll be happy. Get that early Wraith Brand. Gonna be coming out, so we can have an even better time in that mid lane. So, Coddle, DK, Gyro, Brew. It's going to be a lot based on like the ulti timings as well. If they can play around the long duration ultis of Mineski. LGD, they aren't as ulti reliant. Sure, they need the Brewmaster for the majority of the times, but you look at Mineski's and they need the Death Prophet ulti for majority of their damage unless this Ember Spirit just pops off. So I'm going to be looking at that for the most part in this game. A lot of pressure on this Ember to make sure that he's quite far ahead so that they aren't just relying on DP ulti as their damage in the fights.
I see it's Nova. Actually getting into position there for a potential early courier snipe.
Since
finding it.
Because it was the first blood, right, that came out, so he's like, oh, this Ember's
Yeah.
going to bring an item out. But now TP's toward bottom, just tries to secure the lane. For Ame, goes for Enfeeble again, this time around to try to just pressure jabs a bit. Doesn't want to allow his Gyro Cup to get pressured too much. This top lane, this Brewmaster should get quite a lot, though. I understand why they put the DP up here for the Siphon, though. You want to be able to just try to eat some of that pressure, but it's still going to be a pretty good lane, at least for Chalice, to get a good amount of farm up here as this Brew. And I mean, FY is really bullying Ninja Boogie right now.
Oh, Ninja Boogie getting bullied right back behind the tower. Those right clicks from FY. Clarencing up so he can continue the spam onto this top lane, that pressure onto both Mushi and Boogie.
Ember already doing very good in that mid lane with that Wraith Band. Bit of a damage advantage if he doesn't get hit by the Breathe Fire. Level 3 is the bigger one, though, when you get the Flame Guard being unable to be broken by that Breathe Fire. Right now it's the one Breathe Fire and it takes it out, but look at the side pull down bottom. Who's going to get the last hit on the Satyr? Oh! Nobody! The creep.
The creeps will prevail.
And a lot of harassment getting thrown onto Ame because of that, too. So, bottom lane. The two side lanes, both going the reverse manner, you know. LGD getting that top lane and Mineski getting the favorable off down bottom. Both of them actually doing like very similar movements. They pulling the side, just trying to deny that farm from the carry. And DD.
Will be claimed here by Moon. 13 for 2 against the 10 for 1.
Yep.
So the 11 for 0 in the lane between him and Somnus. But is this a good start? I mean, in terms of sort of the Ember, if you're LGD, what are you looking at sort of being your answer to the Ember Spirit in this game down the line? Because as sort of the panel said, as Black said, they are sort of letting him have this good start because of the lane matchups and because of this final DK pick that they wanted.
It's just going to be if the DK can get the lockdown on him over and over again.
Yeah.
If they can, they should have a decent amount of damage to bring him down, because they do have high damage on their lineup to breach through that shield.
Bottom. Ice. Getting decent farm out of this lane, same to be said. He's matching the farm of armor. They are able to sort of slow down on his farm on the gyro. Mid lane. Some nice body blocks here from Moon, allowing him to do a lot of damage to Somnus with the flame guard. Turn around and a breathe fire as both of them continue to battle on at low HP.
Fairly even though in that mid lane.
Bottom lane.
Bottom, they actually get X-Nova.
They do steps forward a little too far.
The power of this, having the gush early on, you know, they went for the first blood with the gush, but now it allows them to actually put pressure onto X-Nova when he steps up too far. And they're slowing down Ame's farm a decent amount here.
Top lane as well. Mineski trying to jump in into Chalice. While he's there with the blaster, hold them back, and Chalice will be fine.
These Orb of Venom ranged heroes in the off lanes is like the new thing. Even FY as this Coddle has an Orb of Venom, which is something you don't really see too often at all. But that's just, it is the new meta for these 4/5 heroes that put harassment.
Mid lane. And the chains are there, Somnus. Taking lots of harassment as Moon really is playing this lane very well so far. 26 for 3 and keeping that slight lead on Somnus's DK.
They might try to make a play if the DK is able to get level 6 before the Ember, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen because of the denies that are coming out. Somnus gets the level 1 and stun, so 2-1-2 build coming out, so they can look to try to lock down that Ember and make some rotations as well with that Dragon Knight if he sees the opportunity at 6.
Bottom lane, Ice. Popping the mango there to try and get aggressive onto Arme. Jabs heads back over, quickly receives the enfeeble from Nova.
Arme getting hit by a lot of those power shots though. Jabs doing a great job with that. Still slowing down the farm of this gyro. And now X-Nova. Some pressure. Ame.
He's trying to go into the rocket barrage, but he's taking a lot of damage. He does have the stick charges, but the power shot connects.
Oh my goodness,
Ame,
Jabs.
incredibly low. Jabs can go for one more touch. We'll do it. And Ame is going to get taken down. Jabs getting one. Maybe they can get another. Mango's popped by Ice. Nova pops the stick charges and will turn with the brain sap. Power shots out, won't finish off X-Nova, and Ice will die. The right clicks there, and the tower hits, bringing him down.
Moon made the move down bottom.
Does manage to at least pick up that Nova kill, but overall Mineski getting very aggressive on that bottom lane. Punishing Arme, slowing down this gyro start.
That was a smooth rotation by Moon, getting the bounty rune as well. Right before getting that kill too. Some tower pressure going to be coming out from Somnus though, since he knows the Ember rotated. But a quick glyph going to counteract that.
Both hitting 6 down in the middle lane, so
yeah,
with that extra safety for Moon with his remnants. Jabs also coming across also.
Yeah, they're really limited on the disable on LGD for this Ember Spirit. Just the Bane as well as that Dragon Knight for the time being, unless he gets hit by a missile, sure, or gets drained out of mana from Coddle Mana Leak. Mana Leak looks like a pretty good spell this game though. Once he starts getting points in the much later stages. But so far, things been fairly even. The pressure coming out from both sides. It's surprising that Ice is sort of lacking a little bit on those last hits. Probably just from like the enfeebles being thrown out constantly on both him and Jabs. They're also looking to just apply pressure and look for kills and slow down the gyro rather than get so much of this farm. You see Ice constantly just gushing, walking up, throwing out the Anger Smash, even missing a couple last hits to prioritize that, getting the Ame low on this gyrocopter.
Ame getting very close to having the 6, so we'll get to that point where the 2 of them down there can look to try and set up with a Nightmare and go for a kill. Top lane, Mineski looking for FY. FY goes for the TP out. He's not going to make it. Mineski finding themselves a 5th kill in these early stages of the lane. 5 for 1.
Death Prophet versus these tanky strength heroes. You can't actually make the aggressive move on her. Gets those spirit seconds out from bottom. Ame kind of gone on again. Missiles out, right to Jeps. Oh, Ame actually denies it.
Mid lane just continues to be a straight trader farm.
Yeah, it's like
Somnus and Moon.
it's like sure you can't break the shield now at this point with the initial dragon breath, but the harassment that comes up from the right clicks now starts to add up versus an Ember Spirit.
Top lane trying to go Nova. Nice Nightmare there to dodge the power shot by the looks of it.
Somnus actually Moon threw a Remnant down and started TPing the base right in front of Somnus. So Somnus just walks up and Moon has to stop the TP. And this Dragon Knight's able to get some pressure on mid because of that. A bit of a mistake there coming out from Moon.
Yeah, some things off the back of that onto the mid lane. As you say, we'll be getting the space Somnus to bring that tower increasingly lower. Now, about a third of its health only left. Has the backup of Nova.
Oh, oops.
Nightmare and Dragon Tail at the same time there, so not really going to achieve much at all for LGD.
That might have been a kill if they didn't stack him.
Top lane Mushi.
Amit's trying to get active here.
Top lane Mushi's going very aggressive onto FY. He does get the kill, but it may cost him his life as Ame. With that wraparound, which Mushi just did not expect at all to suddenly see Ame appearing from the other side of the Roshan pit.
These active level 6 gyrocopters, we've been seeing this more often, especially when you're getting pressured when in like one of these lanes, which, I mean, that's the dual lane factor all the time. These double spammers, you want to be making early rotations as this gyro, and successful for Ame. Smoke comes out mid. Somnus still about 1,000 HP though, and does not actually go to get on that high ground. He seems to actually know because, you know, the creeps are hitting the tower. He's aware that something's happening.
Top lane Chalice. And Ame getting aggressive once again. Looking towards Ninja Boogie. He'll go for the Burrow Strike. The missile connects and he will fall.
And the
Primal split. Can they try for Mushi as well? They have the control. Extra TPs are coming through though, and Ame is hesitant about diving behind that tower. TP will be cancelled by Ice as soon as he sees that the TP attempt has sort of pushed Ame away from diving for the kill. But turns towards Jabs instead though. Jabs going for the TP out, will make it. No way to cancel it between the three of them.
Who killed the courier? Was it Jabs? I guess so, yeah. That's why he was positioned up there.
And Mushi's still hiding. Ame did have a quick look for him, but Mushi just having to hide himself in the trees.
Mushi's farm has totally stopped after that laning start. Had a great start initially versus the Bruin as well as that Coddle, but after dying that one time, he has lost quite a lot of net worth.
He needs someone to come up here and help him get out. His TP is still not there for 30 seconds. And he is all alone in those trees. Chalice. Oh, nice shackle from Jabs.
Coming in.
Out the Remnant. Bam, they'll jump in on the Brew. Brew's gone. X-Nova tries to turn, and Mushi's there as well, ready to look towards Ame. As LGD a little too deep and outnumbered. They'll lose Ame as well. Mineski punishing them for being inside the jungle. Burrow Strike 4 from Ninja Boogie costs him his life. Doesn't make the connection. He'll pay, but they do find the cleanup kills. Mineski getting 3 kills after LGD hang around a little too long over Mineski's half of the map.
I mean, they got incredibly aggressive right next to a shrine there just to look for a Sankin kill. They don't have the Brewmaster ulti. Their Dragon Knight was farming jungle. Coddle's bottom. Definitely overzealous there by LGD and getting punished by Mineski. That gets Mushi to catch a little bit back up to with that quick move over.
And still the sort of the 2 big titans in the mid lane continue to be at the top of the network. Bottom lane Ice being found out. Ame more than enough magical between him and FY to burst down the tide.
They would have even had like that quick instant extra rocket barrage afterwards too, because that chakra magic, of course. Oh, but now Ame.
Indeed, he's going to get caught out by this. Boogie comes round with the Burrow Strike. Mushi's there with the damage. Ame.
Oh, did he? I think Ninja Boogie got the creep too. Ame really wanted to try to get down there. FY getting hit by a little bit by the ghosts here. Has to be a bit careful.
Very nice rotation from Mushi.
Boots of travel on Moon. He's looking to go for this Keep of the Light.
And they're hunting in the trees. FY in a lot of trouble. He's going to reveal himself with that blast. They know that he's still in here somewhere, and they will come through the trees and find him. Searing Chains is out from Moon. Backup is there for FY, but FY, is he still going to live? Finally ticks down to the Flame Guard. But the Epicenter as well onto Somnus, who came in alone to try help out FY, and they lose another.
And that was a Dragon form popped as well as soon as he goes bottom, and all of Mineski is already positioned there. LGD getting outmaneuvered a bit here.
This is looking so much better from Mineski. Their lineup just makes much more sense. Yep. The panel, they believed in it, and so far in these first 12 minutes, we are certainly seeing Mineski make the plays. Still just a 1k gold advantage, though not the biggest, as the farm is still there for the majority of the LGD's cores.
It's going to happen a bit when you're playing with Coddle, right? You don't have this super active 4 hero that can run around and make plays like something like a Sand King. You're going to have to play a little bit more farm-oriented when you're playing on the side of LGD. You're pretty much relying on your Dragon Knight and Brewmaster to lead the charge and make all these plays happen. They do have the blink now on Chalice, though, which will allow them to be able to make those aggressive plays constantly. Jabs, though, finding the shackle.
There's indeed, there is Chalice, though, to back him up. Jumps in to help out Xnova with the power split, but Xnova will fall. It's the Nightmare off in time. Is there the damage from this Brute to actually find a kill out of this one? He's diving in, looking for Jabs. Should be able to chase down Jabs, and indeed he will. Gets the trade kill down bottom. Ice being kited up by Arme. FY building up the blast. Ice pretty tanky though at the moment as Arme trying to battle against it with the Rocket Barrage. But Arme, he's losing this fight as Ice mans up, Lacards his Targs, and get the kill.
And Chalice dies top 2. LGD completely getting outmaneuvered here. This is a solo kill from this Tidehunter on your carry Gyrocopter. Uh-oh. They're going to need Somnus to pull them out of this with this Shadow Blade. Maybe he's going to have to make a lot of moves with this Dragon Knight in order to try to fix all this. Because the Brewmaster split, sure, gets a kill out of it, but it's a Wind Ranger. But at least it's a dominating streak Wind Ranger, so that one ends up being pretty worth it.
And you can only imagine that's the plan from LGD. Is it Somnus, as we say? He's been involved in nothing so far.
Yeah.
It absolutely has just been LGD being wherever Somnus isn't to make sure that he has this space, has this farm, and we'll see what type of maneuvers they can pull out when he does have that Shadow Blade complete, which it's very close to being there. FY also has the 4-staff now done, so he'll feel a little less vulnerable across the map and will have that safe potential for his teammates as well.
Yeah, he goes the GH, as I always call it, the 4-staff before that Aghanim Scepter. Almost has the Shadow Blade finished on Somnus. And then they can look to actually make plays and look for those pickoffs. Like I was mentioning, they don't have that usual 4 hero that wants to do that, just a Bane. It's going to be a lot of pressure on maybe for this game to try to catch Ame back up in this one. This Gyrocopter is really struggling. 57 last hits at the 15-minute mark. That's how you know it's quite a lot of pressure coming out from Mineski. In these first 15 minutes, the runes come up. Looks like Mineski should be able to claim all of them here.
And they want to fight. They've got the Blade Mail done now on the Ember.
Great versus Gyrocopter.
Yeah, a lot of damage. This is just going to be thrown out all over the place from LGD's lineup.
Mineski's ready to fight.
Boogie finds the opening to close the gap. Nova's gone. Quick catch onto the Bane. They could try and turn this into more Moon. Scouting out the situation behind the tier 1 tower, but there's still some decent numbers from LGD in the neighborhood, so Moon has to be careful.
They could look to try to recall and go for some fights here if they can set up with that new Shadow Blade being delivered on Somnus.
Drums as well on Arme's Gyro, so these sort of items, they're fantastic to have around this 15-minute mark coming into place for LGD, and now it's just whether or not they are able to utilize them to the point that they can start to turn around these early fights that Mineski are constantly getting away with, leading 16-6, having a 2K gold lead at the moment.
Yeah, and because of all this going well, you know, I'd mentioned earlier in the game that they're going to rely on the Exorcism if they don't get that Snowball start, but they're starting to get that, so the damage is going to be there without just having their ultis. While on the other side, LGD is a bit more ulti reliant right now because they are behind.
Nice.
Somnus actually is using the Dragon form to just farm an Ancient stack, so he's knowing that he really needs a BKB in this game versus all this control that's coming out from the side of Mineski. An incredible amount of magic damage is on their side again.
Especially with how ready Mineski are to fight. Instantly as soon as they saw the potential of LGD maybe pushing up to top, they send 4 top. They've got the Ravage ready on ice. They're making the move now as well. If they can find an opening, and they will find Chalice. And Chalice has been shackled and will be surrounded. No escape for Chalice.
So much control, even the silence thrown on top. No way that you're going to get a split off. And I mean, it's really become a lot, you know, we've been saying is the meta of BKBs, but pretty much everybody's starting to queue up BKBs super early in this game. Death Prophet has one queued up. Brewmaster, Dragon Knight, Gyrocopter. This magic community in this game is going to be incredibly important for both sides. Mineski looking good, though.
A lot better than game 1. And a lot of it down to, you know, just the change in draft.
Yeah. I mean, that last draft was... It looked bizarre. You know, we hadn't seen Nyx Assassin in those type of situations in a while. This one looks much cleaner. Ninja Boogie's about to have the Blink Dagger finished up on the Sand King too, so they're going to have even more increased ways to start the fights. Well, for LGD, still looking a bit rough. FY just really trying to farm this Aghanims. Has the point booster finished. whenever you'd like to pick it up. So Doba just, this now for LGD, it's the stall game. They need to just try to make space for this gyrocopter to farm, try to defend their tier 1s as long as possible with this Keeper of the Light, and hope for Mineski to make some overextensions.
Mid lane, Mineski pushing forward. Somnus has the Elder Dragon form and Shadow Blade ready to pop.
Tidehunter there though.
Who do you go on? ISO, as you say, a very hard target to start the fight off the back of if you're LGD.
Mean, they can't kill him. They're gonna have to do like the brew split into throwing him in the air and then look to isolate the other targets while the Tidehunter is controlled by that brew. It's gonna be hard to execute those fights now, especially with that Blink Dagger now picked up on the Sand King.
Towards the side. Majibuki will get a deep ward down. There are right. He's got the epicenter. He wants to go for this. Jumps in straight away on top of the Bane with the epicenter. That'll mean X-Nova can't keep himself alive with the brain stab. That's one gone. Jabs nearly falls, but he gets the Chakra Shot off in time. Holding back Somnus on the Dragon. There's the Ravage from Ice, catching the two of them, holding the DK in place, as well as the Brew as Mineski. The perfect execution of a team fight. As they come in, they catch out at 3. And LGD is this time round, this game too, is their turn to be the ones that just to look a bit like deers in the headlights. They just are at a loss. They don't know how to take these fights the Mineski are bringing to them. Yeah.
And now this Tide is going for this triple ancient stack that LGD really needs. And panel said, this is a great Ember game. And Ember is absolutely doing it already. Godlike, 9-0-5, involved in 14 of the 20 kills.
This is such a smooth showing from Mineski. Really just showing us sort of the plays that you expect from this lineup. This is the Mineski that we've seen and we saw in the past at DAC in that grand finals against LGD.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the liberty of being able to make all these more aggressive moves because I keep saying it, but it's LGD. They have FY on Coddle. So it's not like you can't make plays as a Coddle switch. You can bring your teammates around to make plays, but you making the plays yourself is very difficult.
Yeah. There is definitely that timing, though, with regards to the Aghanim sets on the Coddlers. It's like if we haven't managed to push high ground before then, it gets infinitely harder to do so.
Yeah, it's the Aghanims and the BKB timings. Yeah. The Dragonite and the Gyrocopter getting relatively close to them.
Somnus tried to chase there for an attempt on a kill, but there's going to be the backup. He's going to get surrounded. Chalice will go for the primal split. There will be a defensive Nami onto Somnus, but it's not going to save him. Somnus will fall. There's a Fiend's Grip from Nova coming out, but it's onto a DP that's already BKB. Mushi does not care as LGD lose X-Nova as well.
The Brew is dying as well during the split.
Again, LGD taking fights that they just have no chance of taking. 4 heroes dead. Mineski 24-6, 7k lead. It really is, it's a huge turnaround from what we saw in game 1. And if anything, it's, as we said, sort of the loss in game 1 could heavily be attributed down to the fact that the draft was not great. This time round, sure, the draft was good for Mineski, but I don't think this is an outdraft as much as game 1 was. This is just Mineski playing incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as much. I still think it is a bit, though, because, I mean, I'm seeing this Dragonite who, sure, has the Shadow Blade finish, but maybe can't find anything on the map. He's 0-3-0 on DK. A rare sight to see for maybe. Even though he had a decent amount of farm, he can't really get involved into any of these fights because Mineski just has better situations in everything. And they still have their Ravage up. They still have Epicenter now as well.
Yeah. It's, as we keep saying, it's about when they have the BKBs on the course, they have the Aghanims on the call. We'll see if they can take a fight then. But up until that point, Mineski will almost certainly be allowed to just run circles around them in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, they already have Mushi with that BKB, like you pointed out before, too. Gets Fiend's Grip, had the BKB already available. Their damage extremely limited through BKB. There's not a whole lot of physical to those later stages, as we say all the time. Moon almost has a Lincoln Sphere finished up on this Ember as well. So 10-0-8 on Ember. The Lincolns is going to pretty much make him almost unkillable in this game. How do they actually kill him with the Lincolns? The Dragon Tail was like the only real form of lockdown. Bane's is very difficult to really rely on trying to catch an Ember.
Top lane, Ninja Boogie in with the Epicenter on top of Somnus. The controls there with the Troll Summoner. The DK down once again.
It's a disaster. Blink on both supports on the side of Mineski. They can look to constantly look for these pickoffs. LGD, they're trying to find Moon here. But the backup's coming. Jabs is here.
So they can turn it, and indeed Mineski will keep it going their way. 2 more kills for Moon. The chains onto Arme. This is almost certainly going to be another. Arme's trying to turn and take down Moon with him, but he cannot do so as Moon cleans up a triple kill. 29-6, 23 minutes. It really is getting to be just as much as a Stompers. Game 1 was the other way.
Yeah, and Chalice also gets
They
caught now
found him
too.
in
I mean,
the
this
trees.
is looking exactly like that last game. Chalice blinking for him. They're trying to find him. He's joking. Uh-oh, Jabs is there though.
He's got the connection. Another kill, Mineski. I mean, coming back from game 1 as they have in an incredible style as well. I mean, they really must have talked after that game, and as we in the panel are saying, they must have said themselves, we screwed up in the draft. There's no way we could play our ways out of this.
Yeah.
We didn't play bad. It was just a game that was impossible to play. And they kept their cool. They've come into game 2, and they've said, hey, well, yeah, if LGD can outdraft us, what's to say that we can't outdraft them and just steamroll? And that's exactly what they're doing. 30-6, 23 minutes, an 11k advantage. They're into the Roche pit. Nothing that LGD can do to stop them from getting this Roche and Aegis. Mineski just storming ahead.
Yep. LGD needs to. I mean, it even looks like they don't really know what to do. They're all just trying to farm. They're like, we need to catch up. We need to get all these items online. But Mineski has full control. And DD Rune now picked up for Moon, level 18 as well already on this Ember Spirit, and he's hunting.
Oh, he is, and look who he's found. They've found him. The DK once again, Somnus, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. 0-5-0 now on what has to be, for Somnus, one of his like least impactful games in a long time with LGD. You don't see Somnus go 0-5-0 every day.
Nope. Dragon Knight looking
Boogie. He's in.
really struggle.
And he knows that
Oh,
they
the
can
power shot hits.
What the snipe from Jabs.
They're
look,
continuing
they're
forward.
just diving past towers. Mineski, Moon's in, cuts down FY. My goodness.
The Bruce split just tickles too.
I mean, that split's doing nothing. You got to get that Earth Ruling out of there. Chalice will.
Isis is putting the catapult on him as well. I mean, this is looking totally out of control for LGD this time around.
It absolutely is.
For quite a while now. They have not gotten a kill in ages. And by ages, I mean like 13 minutes. It's been just completely Mineski dominant. Already that 20k experience lead, 14k goal. It really does feel like the repeat of that last game.
Now the thing is, I'm trying to think, have we seen Mineski in the groups? Were they the team that did pro some games? In terms of it, they got to a good lead and then they let it slip away, or am I thinking of other teams?
They had, I think, 1 or 2 that they did have like that, but overall, they've won every single time they've had this win rate. So,
I mean, it's looking good. The all chat coming out from both sides, just in case you did miss at the start. I think the Jabs did say he declared at the start of the game that he was muting everybody.
Oh, was that Jabs or Moon?
Yeah.
It was one of the two of them.
Oh, it might have been Moon.
Yeah.
It was one of the two.
I'm
muting everybody, but he also did clarify, including his teammates.
Yes. Xnova gets grabbed that again, and it's same thing. LGD, they just can't make plays.
How is this comparing to game 1? When do we see game 1 come to an end? I gotta check this. Game 1 came to an end, 33 minutes, and it was 38-9. We're getting very close to that.
We're very close to that.
We're getting very close to being an exact mirror.
Not the 1k per goal per minute, though.
Sure.
It's going to be a little bit less than that
The
in
net
this
worth
game,
advantages are going to be quite as incredible, but still.
Shackle connects.
Oh, they're jumping in. Mushi with the BKB, looking towards Arme. Arme now has his own BKB, will be able to back off. Chalice goes to the center of it all, gets caught out by the Ravage as they get the Dragon Knight and the Brood. Well, it looks like they'll chase down Chalice. Chalice trying to run. He does get the Primal Split off in time. He's got to sort of run himself away there with his Primal Split. Incredibly hard for him to continue
They're
fighting.
just killing it.
They are indeed. He's down left to the final one, but the big old bear gets beaten down. Again, Mineski just rolling on. Up to the high ground,
Mushi
into the
forward.
base. Mushi forcing Xnova back to the fountain. Xnova will survive, but Ninja Boogie's just diving past tier 4s with epicenters. They do lose the Aegis on Moon.
The Fiend's Grip.
Oh. They turn this. That's the silence. Ninja Boogie, 2-man Burrow Strike. Looks like they'll be okay. Boogie! Whoa! That save there from Ice with the Greaves, I believe. And that's GG. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. 38-6. for Mineski at 27 minutes in. Just a reminder, game on was 38-9 for LGD at 33 minutes. So Mineski did it at a quicker pace.
Yeah, just a bit faster.
Just a bit faster. Wow, what a series. I mean,
I don't think anyone wants to see Dragon Knight anymore. This hero is really struggling. It doesn't matter whose hands it is.
Get rid of that hero.
It doesn't matter whose hands it's been in. It just seems to... Sure, you're able to pressure these towers a bit here, but you see Somnus and 0-6-0. He can't make rotations.
0-6-0.
They have no damage coming out, and I mean, it's also, I felt like, you know, FY not having this roaming, being able to gank all over the place. They were just relying so much on him, and they just couldn't make plays. Mineski just outplaying them around the map, and again, this time, they get the outdraft.
When was the last time someone on an LGD went 0-0 on the kills and assists? Like, that is Mineski able to do that to Somnus. That's quite an achievement. Somnus literally having no impact at all that game because of how fast and how well Mineski played as a team. And guess what? The panel
was right.
The panel was right again. I don't know what it is about this collection of beautiful boys and girls on the panel, but they're getting it right every single time. Will they get it right for game 3, though? That's the question, as it now stands 1-1 between Mineski and LGD.
I hope we're going to get it right in the third game as well, but we have to wait and find that out later on. That game, Sunspan, Dragon Knight,
Yes.
getting buffed maybe after seeing this performance. If
You
maybe
guys-
can't win with him, who can?
You guys doubt me, you know?
That was a
You
terrible...
guys
There was a terrible
Hey.
DK pick.
You have...
Before it was even picked, I've been talking crap about Dragon Knight all week. All week.
Yeah.
He has like a 20% win rate. Let's go. Let's get with the
But it's a-
program, people.
It's a bad game, and it doesn't fit their needs.
All right, one thing I will say, Mineski did play a lot better this game. And it's amazing how a decent draft will actually
thank
change
you.
things, right?
Yes.
They played in a very suffocating manner, very aggressive. Also, Dragon Knight sucks. Go ahead.
Just, it makes me angry. It's the same exact thing Newbie just messed up. You win. Why do they beat VP? Because they could play fast. Because they could do things. Like, I wish I could say it in a more eloquent way, but if you can't do shit, how do you expect to win the game? He's 0-6-0. That's the last pick hero.
But if you're going to compare this to Newbie, they won because no one didn't have a good game because he was on a passive hero like the Razor.
You're in a position where you don't have as many options.
Well, you don't really have a lot of control about what your enemy picks as a mid laner.
Well, but the thing is, they last picked the DK into the Ember Spirit.
Oh, yeah. I'm not justifying that.
Usually we see people picking Ember against the DK. So we're all like sitting here, we're like, what?
It just boggles my mind. Like, Newbie did this in game 3. They beat VP. They're like, all right, SCCC, our playmaker. We're gonna activate you. We're gonna put you in a position to take us, to win us this game.
Lina.
No,
Dragon Knight.
They picked him Dragon
Or
Knight.
third game.
Third game, Dragon Knight.
Second game, Lina.
Yeah.
You crush him completely, third game.
Same thing.
Back to
Maybe
VP.
plays a beautiful SF, like takes over the map, right? How do you do? He's 0-6-0. Maybe he's one of the best players in the world.
All these players are playing the long game. They just want Dragon Knight buff, just like Sunspan, and they figured, you know what? If there's enough A plus mids, trying to play this Dragon Knight and keep losing, I'm sure
You know what Dragon Knight?
Iceberg will come out.
Dragon Knight is the melee Viper, okay? For the first 20 minutes of the game, he can walk at you. And if you're able to walk away, maybe a light jog, okay? This isn't like the 28 days later zombie. This is the Walking Dead. It's just, he's drooling.
Just at a brisk pace. Just
Yeah, just like, you know, check over your shoulder every once in a while. Stay out and take a nap real fast if you need to rest. Like, you can't do anything with the hero, especially, as Black keeps repeating, when you're laying against an Ember Spirit, he can just teleport in, immediately find kills. What are you going to do?
0-6-0. Stands out, doesn't it?
It doesn't even provide a win condition.
Yeah,
you need,
that's what we
you need
spoke
like
about.
3 items
Yeah.
before you do enough damage to win the game, but you don't farm creeps. Like, you need to snowball, much like a Viper does, by always being in a lane, always pressuring your lane, and finding kills naturally. Like, you need somebody to, like, trip.
Yeah. Well, we said Moon would have to win the game for Mineski, and he did.
And he did.
That's true.
17-0-13.
You can't ask for more. That's a hell of a game.
Yep.
Is that enough to award him the MVP? Apparently it is. There you go.
Wow, that was cool.
Got him.
I don't know.
But not over 100% kill participation.
No.
I don't know about this anymore.
I mean, he had a lot of kills, though. 16 kills.
Wasn't 17 even?
It says 16 on the top.
I said 17 before. I got debated.
Debated.
What?
Wait, something is going
Oh, it says
on
17 over. Oh my God, this is very confusing.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
He got 16.5 kills this game.
Because
Can't decide
DK
on
only
the last
counts
one.
as a half a kill because he's
That-
so worthless.
Schrodinger's kill count.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
The other thing I would bring up is the importance of just being able to play fast. Like, I swear, if you just pick Storm in that game, it doesn't matter. Like, every game seems to be at least relatively even once you hit the mid game.
Yeah.
A Storm in that game, Kaya, Orchid, BKB, you're the best hero on the map.
Storm is
Both
afraid of
the
you.
supports die.
Ember's afraid of you.
Ember has to buy different items completely. He went Blade Mail, bots, like Lincoln's, Maelstrom, like.
He was having a field day.
Yeah, he had a free game. Their last pick, yeah, when he had Armlet, Blink, Shadowblade, BKB, he would have had the ability to stun the Ember, and then his 4 other heroes could kill him.
So you get so triggered by this, and I love it. But you know, that's all the things that LGD did wrong. And sure, that Mineski had a good draft, but they played it really well as well. Like, some credit is due. It's not, they didn't just win because LGD drafted bad.
But it's just that they look at game 1, right?
Yeah.
I think that the fans, the community, even players right now are dramatically undervaluing the importance of drafting and strategy.
All right.
I think this is the most draft-heavy, like, focused meta we've ever had in Dota history, and there are certain games that are just unwinnable, namely, like, game 1 of this series.
And maybe game 2
Everyone's
for the other team.
It's also the closest in skill top-tier Dota teams have ever been. So when you give them a massive strategy advantage, of course they're going to win because, as you just said, they're going to play well. If the enemy team can't play well because they're literally, like, handicapped.
All right.
Do you know who George Costanza is? That is you right now, and I love it.
With that being said, we are going to take a short break, and when we're back, it is time for game 3 of the series.